Hello everyone, my name is Meridian and welcome to my channel. I post DIY, alt fashion, and cosplay videos with little blips about life and mental health. Valentine's Day is coming up, so for today's video, I'm attempting this cute dolly eGirl makeup look I found on XioHongShu. I actually don't feel that confident about my makeup skills, but I think one benefit from committing to posting long-form YouTube videos is that I'll feel encouraged to tackle more challenging aspects I don't like about doing makeup, rather than ignoring them. So, go easy on me in the comments for blatantly bad makeup practices. Case in point, using concealer as a replacement for full coverage foundation. Now, before I'm thrown on blast right at the beginning of this video, I do want to note that I don't actually wear makeup daily. I only put on makeup for social media and anime conventions, and maybe less than half the time I hang out with my friends, I'll actually wear makeup. A big challenge for me when it comes to foundation is committing to one. I've experienced my foundation bottles drying up on me because I let them sit too long without use, which feels like such a big waste of money. Concealer is a smaller amount of product, so I do actually go through the whole bottle before needing to buy more. It can take several months to a bit over a year before I do run out, so it does last long enough where I feel like it's worth it. Also, my skin tone does change depending on the weather and how often I'm outside, so having 2 shades of foundation feels like an even bigger waste of money. I also have an issue with commitment bias, so when buying the wrong shades of foundation, I feel the need to use the entire bottle before trying another. I get too chicken to return it for another shade because I've opened and used it, and if it's not the right shade, I get discouraged from doing makeup at all, adding to the vicious cycle. And trying different formulas to see what kind of foundation I like on top of that? Does anyone feel the same way, or am I literally the only big dumb in 2025 who can't figure out how to use the millions of makeup videos on the internet to solve a problem that everyone else has long past gotten over? Due to these conflicting feelings and negative experiences with buying foundation, I've avoided it altogether as something I don't like to think about when doing makeup. I mean, it's just so much more fun to look at and impulse buy another 10 eyeshadow palettes I don't need. But since I'm feeling self-conscious about revealing this faux pas on the internet, I do feel like I should at least try to face my fears and figure this out for future videos. But no promises, old habits die hard. For contour, I'm using the shade Baguette from Nekoyanin's Bakery Contour Palette. I contour the general areas under the cheekbone, around the forehead, under the chin, blending down the neck, and going in with a small brush around the nose and mouth. Something I also ignore is trying different ways to contour my nose. I think my nose is the least favorite part on my face, and I don't know where to draw the line between my absolute lack of contour game is a skill issue, versus this is the natural shape of my nose and I can't make it small and elegant without major Facetune or plastic surgery. Granted, I haven't actually tried too hard to up my skill issue, but I have a fear of actually getting better and finding out that I might actually hate the nose I was born with, and my lack of skill can no longer be the scapegoat. So I've been ignoring this to cope against overfixating on it. I apologize, maybe this isn't a tutorial for a cute pink eGirl Valentine's Day makeup look, it's just me having a mental breakdown while doing my makeup for 10 minutes. Thanks for listening to my TED Talk. For blush, I'm using NYX's high definition formula in the shade Summer. I like to pack my blush on heavy on my high outer cheeks to halfway under my eye area and the tip of my nose. Lately, I've also liked adding blush to my chin and Cupid's bow. I don't tend to change up where I like to put my blush, but I would like to try more color variations in the future. The main thing preventing me from doing that now is that I have a habit of only wanting to buy more eyeshadow products, so I literally only have 3 blushes in my entire makeup collection. For highlighter, I'm using the shade Ice Cold from Jeffree Star's Platinum Ice Skin Frost Pro Palette. I forgot to turn on the camera for the highlight portion, so I'm just indicating with my brush that I highlighted my nose bridge, tip, Cupid's bow, and brow bone with my small brush, and the apples of my cheeks with a blending brush. You could literally play a drinking game counting the times I say I totally ignore skill issues while doing my makeup. Now I'm conflicted on whether I dislike my brows more or less than my nose, because this is a big one too. I've had bangs most of my life and on the majority of my wigs, so I've ignored my brows by covering it up. I did start getting them threaded last year, but I don't keep it up 100% of the time. But I do really like the way they look when threaded. But even when threaded, I don't know how to fill them in a way that I felt made my makeup look actually benefit from the effort. So yet another thing to tackle. For the eyeshadow, I'm using the shade Bubblegum from Jeffree Star's Mini Breaker eyeshadow palette. I'm packing the pink shadow in the center and inner corner of my eyelids with a slight blending upward. The eyeshadow step is something I actually enjoy and feel semi-confident in. I suppose I only feel semi-confident in it is because it's the only step I openly try to do something different every now and then, even if I don't succeed. I just realized maybe that's saying something about the potential for me to actually like other steps in the makeup process if I just tried. Contrary to most, the color range that is available to me during the eyeshadow step is actually what makes it the most approachable. Because I'm not shy to wearing high pigmentation and bright colors, it actually comforts me to put on a color that most would consider crazy or daring to wear. So even if my execution for the shadow is not peak, people normally notice my choice of color rather than my lack of skill. So I don't tend to fixate on the skill insecurity during this step. For the outer lids, I'm using the shade Ethereal Fall from the Art That Ran's Lucifer eyeshadow palette. Side note, Oh Baby's not that popular, so if you don't know who Lucifer is, that's okay. But for those who do know, I am literally a hoe for this 2D man, and I need to absolutely gush about this amazing Lucifer cosplayer I had the absolute pleasure of running into at ALA last month. If y'all are fans of the Obani IP, please tell me who is your husband and favorite song in the comments. To shade the eGirl, I'm using the shade Hot Fudge from the same palette as the pink shadow. I really like the Korean and Chinese makeup trends and want to learn how to do the eGirl makeup properly. Since I don't wear makeup often and tend to stick with my old habits when I do get the motivation to put it on, it takes me a long time to try new things with makeup, let alone learn to do it well. I don't have an aversion to the eGirl makeup specifically, but it's definitely a still new step in makeup that I've not yet tried too much. For the glitter, I'm using Flower Nose Rock Ballet Liquid Eyeshadow. Graphic liner is something I've only tried once or twice, and glitter is completely new to me, so this was a fun new step to try in my eyeshadow, despite needing to touch it up twice. Another side note, tell me why I literally fell in love with Flower Nose's Swan Ballet trunk and decided to treat myself for it the Black Friday it came out, only for the next collection to release a white and gold trunk for Little Angel and pink and gold trunk for Midsummer Fairy Tales in immediate succession. And the current Strawberry Cupid collection has me absolutely gagged. I cannot even express to you how much I need to actively avoid over-fixating on my Swan Ballet trunk being pink and silver, sitting in my craft studio that's literally pink, white, and gold. I am using NYX's Epic Ink Liner and applying to just the inner corners and sharpening the outer and upper wings of the black eyeshadow. I've tended to stick with this layout style of liner, away from the eyeballs, after struggling with mostly failing to keep the liner thin around the lash line. Secondary reason is to avoid the sheer 30-second panic of jabbing my eye with a felt tip, watching the liner dye coat my circle lenses, rapid blinking to get rid of said dye, and then watching it all pile up into a wet black mess at the corners of my eyes and messing up all the work that I've achieved thus far. I'm not sure if I'll tackle this or not, but definitely not sooner than any of the other areas I've already talked about. For the lashes, I'm using Duo Lash Glue. There was a point in time where I did avoid false lashes altogether, but a friend introduced me to this glue product and my whole life changed ever since. On this look, I'm using a bit of NYX's Coral Reef Color Mascara for the outer section of my lashes. For the past 2 to 3 years, I've really gravitated towards oversized false lashes as a signature for my makeup looks. It gives me the same comfort that bold color eyeshadow does, in that it's the main thing people notice about my makeup. Every time I get compliments on my lashes, I like to tell them the real reason I wear them is because they hide the fact that I can never get my eyeliner even on both sides. Since the top false lashes are so oversized, regular bottom lashes tend to look small, and I literally have no natural bottom lashes at all. So I like to cut up and use regular size false lashes for the bottom. I mainly stick with the outer corner because ripping false lashes off my bottom lid is so painful. Fam, I told you from the start, I'm not that confident at all in my makeup skills, y'all. I think I've literally botched every single makeup step in this video. I guess I can be hella flamed in the comments and can't complain about it at this point. But you know, if I'm actually going to challenge myself this year and post makeup videos to YouTube, I think the most enjoyable step for me to actually try would be the lip step. I have just as much color range as the eyeshadow. But the reason why I don't buy a lot of lip products and experiment here is actually because my lips get hella chapped. Different colors of even the same formula can be so drying, and reapplying later in the day is never the same as the original application. So I always gravitate towards the lip products that minimize chapping so it'll look good for the whole day. In a perfect world, I'd have the amount of product and skill to get my eyeshadow and lips to match shades. The 2 different pink shades I ended up with does drive me nuts, even if most people aren't bothered by that. That's the makeup finally all done. The accessories and wig I chose are for the first look in my outfit video from last week. If you'd like to see what outfits I styled with this makeup look, I'll link a card up above and also in the description box. In the past, avoiding the steps that I feared the most in the makeup process has actually helped me complete the looks and go out into the world. It's better than just giving up on the makeup halfway through and never putting myself out there. Overthinking and never actually getting to finish what I set out for has been a recurring issue in my life, and committing to this YouTube channel for 2025 is a major step in tackling that. Coming to terms with the impossibility of 100%ing every step before even starting is a struggle with perfectionism that I fight with every day. Overbearing perfectionism doesn't make my work better. It makes me second-guess myself into never completing a project, or sometimes never even trying it in the first place. All the pessimism in this video aside, I actually believe in the trust the process motto. While I have the whole look done and the outfit on, I am proud of the completed end result. The final look actually overcomes the cringe factor I have for every step along the way that I'm not 100% on, which, after voicing over this video, I realize is actually all of them. The whole, it will look worse when you start, but it will be better than before you started when you get to the end type of idea. Fashion and makeup has always been a coping mechanism for me to move forward in life. I'm able to put aside over-fixating on I can't and focus on what I can do. The other skills I can get to when I feel ready to tackle them, and I won't get so overwhelmed with the delusion that everything needs to be done perfectly. So for Valentine's Day, if you don't have a significant other, that's okay. Working on self-love is valid too. If you've made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. It would mean a ton if you could like this video. For next week, I'm aiming to post a thrift haul try-on doubling as a Valentine's lookbook. If that interests you, please subscribe. I hope to see you on the next one.